Uh, yeah. So for everybody who's jumping in right now, give them a 30-second, 1 minute intro to you.
So, well, I finished my MBA from America in 2011. I came back. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That's when I started my own brand, and that is when I got into digital marketing. It was the best way. The ROI I got that time, and especially doing ads on Facebook and then Instagram, it was out of this world. And that fell in love. So I was like,
I
let's keep learning and let's keep applying this.
Nice.
Yeah, so I would do it for my own brands and for other brands as well.
Listen, nobody I've ever met is this excited about digital marketing. Okay, uh, so I love the fact that that you're super passionate about it. What did you study?
So I did my MBA and it was an international business. So
Right,
I studied some digital marketing as well. But obviously, at that time, there wasn't much, because I did it in 2009 and 2010. So
right.
it was an introduction of everything. But it's just there's so much out there to learn.
Yeah,
So keep at it and you keep checking it out. And right now, you have YouTube videos going on, you have Instagram happening, you have so much happening. Just keep learning and apply it. That's the best thing. I feel
yeah.
that's what.
No, I love it, man. Take us back to home base. When you decided, hey, I want to pursue something different. What is the little person like inside you? Was it always into marketing and advertising, being creative? Were you studying something else? Talk to me a little bit about your past.
Okay, so I did not like studying when I was in school. I hated it. I was a very, very, very average student. And I do remember after I was done with school, I had told my parents that, okay, I'm not studying anymore. This is it. I'm going to be just high school pass out. That's about it.
Right.
And then I was forced by my mom. And she was like, no, you have to study. You have to do well. And that's when I got into it. And only when
Mm,
out. So in India, we used to learning a lot.
right.
And people, they love numbers. They tell us to obviously, apply that and keep learning that. In America, we did a lot of practical learning. We had a
Right.
lot of, projects. We met a lot of people. And that's when I fell in love with just applying everything that you know.
Mm.
Amazing.
So, of all the businesses, digital marketing is probably one of the most competitive because to get in, the roadblocks are not that hard. And I got into it by accident. I spent 12 years building my own digital marketing agency. And when I got in, it was by brute force. This is pre-Facebook. And we're like, hey, I just wanted a place where I can be creative and I can act, techie, and I can act creative director. And there's so many opportunities to just like daydream about how to solve problems. And yeah, but when you're out there talking to people in this crowd of mess, how do you find ways to stand out?
So I feel because it's changing so much, if you keep learning and you keep at it, so every client that I talk to, everybody needs something different. The brands
Mm,
that you're catering to, the channels that they use, and especially right now, the content that they put out. So
right,
if you actually learn, take a step back, learn a little bit about what you want to actually proceed, what do you want to achieve, you can definitely see the numbers going in. That's the best part about digital marketing. You can
mm,
see how your ad actually performs.
right, right.
And the thing is, what I've noticed is that's the reason I started this education portal as well, because there is so much information out there. And even
Mm,
studying, because I'm always learning, I'm always doing online courses. Even when I would do that, I would study from a lot of different places. And
right,
that's what I noticed. There is so much information. Right now, we don't have the problem of not knowing. We have the
right.
problem of knowing way too much.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Um, there's a bunch of folks that still believe like digital doesn't really work. You're spamming people. Nobody's really going to buy my stuff because it's on Facebook or Instagram. I want to old school, direct mail, call people, get on the phone. Where does digital fit in, or does it fit into everybody?
So right now, especially, I think it has to fit into everybody. Right now, we do not have too many offline things happening. We do not have malls open over here right now.
Right,
We have to do it. It's a change that we just cannot ignore anymore. We can't just
right.
say that this is something so new. I'd rather, I don't know, sit in a shop and talk to somebody and then see what happens, get to know about a client. Well, you can do everything now digitally.
Mm,
Even like, let's say we're talking, we're getting to know things. You're in a different
right,
country.
right.
There's you can learn with that. Even talking to your customers, you can get to know so much information digitally. So I feel it's for everybody.
Amazing, amazing. Tell me in your personal life or in your career so far, one major milestone that you've like, man, I hit it. You know,
So I think recently what happened was, so I was always working behind the scenes. So, always consulting, telling people, yes, do live shows, do this, do that, but it's not like I was carrying it forward. So only in May is when I started this whole online thing, right?
right,
And I was talking to a video coach from America, Daily Barkley, and she's so sweet. I saw her on later media, and I just messaged her. I slid into her DMs, and I was like, "Listen, could you just help me? Like, I don't know how to do it." Which was very sweet. And just a few weeks back, I've been getting a lot of people asking me, "Hey, how do you make these videos? How do you do this at home? How do you talk to people on the camera?" And it's
right.
so amazing because that goes with the whole thing that there's nothing you can't do. If you learn
Yeah.
it, just do it. And
I love that attitude, man. Where does that come from? This energy of like, just do it, get up, go. Were you always like that? It was a turning point that put you on this path. Talk to me about like, 'cause I love your energy. It screams across positivity and like go. Um, but how did you end here, man?
so basically, a lot of people obviously are born with like a tag, and they know exactly what they want to do in life, right? I was not one. I was always super confused. I knew when I was doing my MBA that I wanted to come back and be an entrepreneur, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. So one thing I did do was never say no. Whatever
Mm,
came my way, I just did it all. I did everything possible. And
mm,
what my strengths, what my weaknesses could be, what I could do, how I could help. And that is what got me excited and passionate when I started getting that reviews from people. Oh, this is great. This ad is running really well. Oh, or the ad that you made is the copy is great, or the content you're doing, or some photo shoot you've done, anything. So when you get that feedback, that gives you that confidence. Okay, I can do this.
that's amazing. Feeding off your own milestones is an important thing. So many of us, we know how to remember our bad moments, the things that hurt us, and those are becoming sort of the anchor points. But very few people celebrate the micro wins. We talk about practicing gratitude as a form of celebration every single day. What are some of your daily routines? Because entrepreneurs, we don't live a normal standard life. We don't have HR giving us the boost, once a week. We don't have beer Thursdays that the companies organize. How are you finding, motivation?
Yeah. So, well, I call them the 5 R's because it's just easy. And so I spend about an hour, 2 hours researching, learning, because that is something that obviously really helps you because there's so many new things that you're doing all the time. You have to keep learning.
Right.
I drink, so which is like calling. So this is something that we all need to either call an employee or you need to call a client. You need to find out some information. I generally do that first half of my day so that I get everything I need the second half. I'm done with all,
Nice.
and then I register. So I literally like write it down. So once I'm done with my work, I write down about 3 points. What I need to focus on the next day. Because obviously, as you said, being an entrepreneur, your mind is everywhere. You're thinking of
Mm,
is. It's so tough to stay focused. And I think like that is my biggest drawback. To stay focused. There are too many things that you have in your mind. So I would just
Hmm.
but there is a little bit of time you need to give yourself where you just shut everything and do something for yourself and you can see it. You will be more energetic the next day as well. If you feel good, you will work better as well.
Right. That's a great way. Yeah.
And the last one is recognize, which is gratitude. So I write down about 3 points that I have recognized in the whole day that have helped me. And that could be as small as a phone call I've got, a compliment I've got, or even a meal I've eaten that I'm very happy about, or I cooked something, I love it.
Right.
It could be really small, or it could
Yeah.
be like a new client you've got, it could be anything. And that is something I do before sleeping. So I can,
Hmm.
shut everything off, get happy about the day, and sleep and get recharged for the next day.
Amazing, man. On an average night, okay, how many hours of sleep do you get?
Oh, I love sleep. I think I sleep for like 7, 8 hours.
What? That's amazing. I go through periods, and the period I'm in now, I can't sleep because my brain is on overdrive. Um, and I love everything I'm doing where I want to wake up as early as I can and I want to stay awake as long as I can because I'm infected by the things that I'm working on. And then there's moments in life where I literally do not leave the bed for 12, 15 hours a day.
But that is something that happens with me so many times as well. So the one thing that I did start doing in the middle is listening to podcasts. Because during the day as well, I would spend a couple of hours learning. So I would just think to myself that okay, I'm not getting sleep. Let's just spend like 1 or 2 hours for how much time it takes for me to sleep, and then maybe I can sleep in a little longer the next day. So I try to just shift that at times. So I don't have a specific time that oh I need to sleep by this time and I need to wake up at this time. It
Right.
depends on what you have at the next day. So I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
do stuff a lot of times.
It's amazing. It's amazing. When you're working with clients, any patterns of business decisions or self-destruction that you save them from? Meaning, like, there's a bunch of people that call me and like, hey, I'm spending thousands of dollars on ads and I'm seeing no traction. And I'm like, okay, where are you spending the money and why? And most of the time, it's a friend told me to go on Facebook. So if I'm a small business and I'm looking for some help, and COVID's really changed my game, and I need to figure out how to now use digital marketing and tap into something which I never thought I needed. What are some advice to get thinking about how to start?
So the one thing that I think a lot of people like one mistake that a lot of us make is definitely targeting and talking about the business. Why? What is the problem that you're solving? Like I've spoken to a lot of clients and they have these great ideas, they have these great businesses, but they do not know the problem that they're solving.
Mm,
It's like, oh, but the features are so great. Why would you not want it? And the price is so amazing. Why would somebody not want it? But the thing is, when you ask, why would somebody want it? Think about that. Try to tell people that, oh, you know that problem that you had? Let's solve that. Let's do this. Figure out your target. Your targeting can be anything, and
mm,
I've seen this with a lot of people. They're like, my product is so great that I feel everybody wants it. Everybody would do it. But this is something I've spoken about even before. That
yeah,
you want everybody to want it, but your marketing budget is really tiny.
right,
How
right.
motivated to everyone? So you need to start profiling. You need to understand, get specific, understand why would they not even want to buy a product? They have
Right.
these and they can.
Yeah.
So I feel that is one main thing that I've seen with most clients.
No, I love that. I love how you broke that down. And one of the posts you recently put up was about Simon Sneak and the whole Apple story and understanding your why. Talk about that a little bit more, the idea of the golden circle. And people don't really fully understand that it's not just a business thing, but it's something that you can use to really understand what motivates you, as a human. Why am I doing something? What's my purpose? How do I want to impact the world? And it's the same philosophy when you're starting a business, and we think it's separated, right? Talk to me a little bit about that post.
So I have noticed this, and this is something even I've done, where we first start off talking about what are we selling, and not too many people are talking about why are you selling this. And so when I saw his talk, which mentioned this, I started applying it. I started inverting it and applying why. And you see the reaction. People connect with your brand. And that is what you need. That is why people get so loyal in buying stuff from you, especially
Mm,
now during the pandemic, right? There are so many businesses sadly going under, but there are some brands that we all are very excited to buy even after, when things open up. We know
yeah.
these are things we definitely want because we're so used to it. It could be your favorite moisturizer or like, I don't know, anything really tiny or your favorite earphones. But the thing is, why are you like, that's what the company needs to tell you, like, how do you want it?
Amazing.
Everybody understands what it is and how amazing it is. Why
Right.
should we find your product that amazing as well?
Hmm. That's amazing. And when you work with clients on this kind of work, is there a process you follow on how to break it down? We talk about the five whys in when I approach things, and I think you probably do something similar. Most of the clients that I've worked with, they have the first top two level, like, why do I do this? This is because, and this is because. You get the third, fourth, fifth why, and they're completely out of words. And the magic really happens in the fourth and fifth. When a new client's coming on board, um, what are some of the things that you look for to see if it's a good fit for your skills?
So definitely depends on like what stage they're in. But I feel one thing with which is common with everybody is, why are you looking at this target market? Why? People don't know that. They feel that, oh, because we feel this person has been buying and this might happen. We don't know too many things about that market. And
Right.
those are the questions you need to start asking. Why this person? What does this person do? So this is something I have spoken about even earlier, is a buyer persona. Start
Mm,
to more personas for your business. And that is something that will help you even with your ads, even when you're marketing with it. It really helps you even figure out your features for your
right.
product or services. So I feel that is a very, very important why, like most people need to ask and sit down and then start even create your content with it as well.
Yes, incredible. Let's ask you the same question. Why are you an entrepreneur?
I love it.
it, it,
um, one little thing is that I think I get bored of just doing things, and I love meeting new brands, figuring out different strategies. Just love it. I
that's
don't
amazing. That's
just sit in one place and be like, this is it. This is your life. This is
yeah. What's your support network like? Sometimes folks that are academically pursuing stuff, and you go as far as like getting an MBA, that's a long commitment. I'm one of those, hate school, love school kids, and I couldn't wait to get out. Like, what's the minimum I need to do to get into life? And when I meet folks that have the discipline to get into the MBAs of the world, um, most of them have a different career trajectory than finish MBA, go to entrepreneurship versus finish MBA, join a Fortune 100, 300, do some of that time, and then jump into your own thing. What's your support network like? When you're like, hey, I'm just gonna go start my own thing.
Yeah, yeah. So that has been great, thankfully. Although my mom did tell me that I cannot finish studying right after high school. So typical Indian mom who's like, you have to study, you have to get your degrees, you have to do this thing, that's good for you. So I was like, okay, let's do it. And then I loved my MBA. And I did tell them, which is great of them. They knew I'm not going to take up any job. I'm going to come back and start doing something for myself.
Right.
And India is a great market for entrepreneurs. And that's why I came. I knew this is what I did not know that I wanted to get into digital marketing. That
Hmm. What did you want to do when you were doing your MBA? What was some of the things you were getting inspired by that today you're not in?
so I did start a fashion brand, and
Ooh, okay.
yeah. So I just combined the two, and I was getting a lot of collections from out of the country, getting it into the country. And that time we didn't have too many e-commerce brands either. So it was
Right.
so beautiful. It was like this beautiful sweet spot where everything you do connects.
Mm.
It's just great.
That's amazing, man. In your career today, could you remember a moment where you kind of was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do. Rejections are happening. People are not picking up my calls. I'm not making the kind of money I want to make. This is not what I thought it was. And then somehow you switch that mindset to, no, this is temporary. I want to keep going.
It happens more than you can imagine. Like it happens every time something big changes, like the pandemic. So like there were so many companies that were so interested in doing, you have a lot of contracts, but what happened is sadly there was a lot of money that they lost. They didn't have like,
Mm,
restaurants. I was working with a lot of restaurants as well, and they didn't have the money. They didn't have anybody coming in. They were all
right.
losing work. They were shutting down, and that is when you start thinking that, oh, should I start doing something? What should I get a job now? But then, but this is something I always say: just every time you're confused, learn. Just learn, because that's the only way you can know that you are doing something that you can handle. Even you feel like you're moving forward.
Right. Just learn. What a great way to tie it all together, man. If you're stuck, if you don't know what to do, if your momentum is low and you're not sure how to build on it, just learn something different. Start learning. And learning is so much easier today. So much you can learn. Google, Udemy, whatever. It's there to start learning.
There are Google courses now. So there's this one introduction to digital marketing on Google.
Wow.
Brilliant. It's super easy. It's very well made. And it's by Google. So you know that the information's great.
Yeah, no, that's amazing, man. Outside of your five R's, which I love, how do you find balance? I feel like it just in the bit of energy that I'm getting from you, if you're like me, we get obsessed about things and we just go all in, and balance is like a thought but doesn't really fall into action. But do you have balance? How do you find balance?
Oh, it's really tough. So I keep counseling myself all the time.
I love that. Self-counsel.
I have to. So times, I will have to actually sit down and be like, okay, relax now. Listen to some music, do something else, stop.
Right,
You can tomorrow. And that is why I love the whole register part. Because then
right.
I'm shutting it down right now. I'm going to write it down, what I need to do tomorrow, and just don't stress about it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. As I was looking at my notes, I have research, ring, run, recognize. I'm missing one.
Yes. So register, you have
Yep,
register,
yep,
research, uh,
yep.
register, run, and recognize.
Okay, cool. I was missing register. Okay, I got it. I got it. I want to make sure we document that because it's beautiful steps. It's a simple way to just memorize something every single day. And that's what I think, as an entrepreneur, finding these like little unique ways to stay motivated and organized is the hardest, man. Like I love, the idea of starting new solutions. And people that know me know that I'm not a good finisher. I'm a starter. I'm a creator. I like dreaming of stuff that doesn't exist, and then I go all in. But I'm the last person to like be organized to follow through. So I surround myself with people that enable that to me. And it took a long, long time to understand this is my strength, this is my weakness, and I don't want to be better at my weaknesses. Um, how are you when you're learning focusing on what to learn? Because so much of us we're trained to focus on our weaknesses so much because that's what we were told in school. You suck in this, work on it, right? But as an adult, your weaknesses are your weaknesses. You can't keep focusing on it when what you're good at needs to be focused on. How do you handle that?
So, like, a great point. Definitely surrounding yourself with people like that, it really helps. And asking for help. I feel like there are so many people, and especially right now when you're browsing the internet, you're seeing so many people who are doing such great things with their life. Try to look at what they're doing. Try to look at
Mm,
what you're finding exciting. I'm going through somebody's page and I'm like, oh, I love the way this person talks. Like when I saw yours as well, you have this energy. When you're talking about music, you're excited.
right.
So you can learn so much just by either talking to them or even just looking at what they're doing. And then Google, your best friend. Just Google whatever topics you're thinking of, start doing some research. It's as easy as it's nothing crazy. It's just
Amazing.
put it in there.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it, man. The show is called Making Money Moves, and so I'm always curious about people's relationship with money. It either supports you or holds you back. It's either a point of thought every single day or you don't. What is your relationship with money?
Okay, so definitely you need it to survive, right? And being an entrepreneur, it's very tough to figure out what's the cap. How many people can you take on board? And a lot of times you do get greedy and you're like, I'm going to do everything. And you just want to keep taking clients on. And you're like, I'm just going to hire more people. I'm going to do this. But the thing is, yes, sometimes the clients fall off and you're still paying those salaries and you're just like, oh, what is happening?
Yeah.
So I think, but there's no formula for it, I feel. You need to get into it, but be a little safe. Just make
Mm,
sure you have your minimum amount, whatever you want to earn, how much ever you're asking your clients, have a few of those and keep a little bar, three plus and down, let's say, and see if you can support that, that's good enough. You're in a good,
mm,
if you see, continuously, a lot of people are getting in, you're getting a lot of feedback, definitely. That's when
right.
you think, okay, I think I can hire one more person and this is going to stabilize. So my level just goes a little higher. And that
Mm.
I try to practice every time as well.
So you operate from a position of aspiration. How can money help me grow versus how do I get money to survive? And when I speak to people, there's a really interesting distinction because those who look at I need money to survive versus I need money to be inspired make different decisions.
Yes.
And when you come from a position of I need it to survive, you take very little risks because the risks go against your survival mindset.
Exactly.
And when you do the opposite of I want money as an inspirational way to live my life, then it's less about not spending it, but it's about spending it wisely to get to the next level. Um, and it's incredible when I meet people what spectrum they fall. I came from, the first half where most of my life I grew up poor. So for me, not spending was the only focus. You make as much as you can, but hoard it, hoard it, hoard it. But the survival mindset means you're never going to take that risk. You're never going to book that trip. You're never going to get on a plane to go experience a new spot, try out a new restaurant. Things you're not going to do because you want to hold on to what you have. So I love how you said this. It's about leveling up. It's about using the money. Cool. As we come to an end, tell us where to find you if clients want to jump on board and get your advice. What do they do? How do they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me from my Instagram page right now. And I have my email address. You can send me a message. And my website should soon be up as well. Yeah, I'm going to be putting up
Amazing.
more talks and let's see how it goes.
Listen, I'm a fan. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, even with all the little hurdles that two digital folks had to figure out how to do. I can't wait to watch this and listen to it again. There's so much incredible knowledge. I love the 5 R's. I'm going to put it into our playbook. And this has been a fantastic conversation. I appreciate you making some time for this guy to slid into your DM, as you said, and be like, "Hey, I like what you're doing. Come hang out with me." So please reach out at any point if there's anything we can help you with.
Definitely. Thank you so much. This was great.
Okay, we'll talk soon. Have a great day.